Hey guys, some stupid sketch show guy here with another news video, and as expected, my next news video is a sequel to the one I made last week about Collecta, as Collecta has announced another batch of 3 figures. And this time, it isn't a bunch of new species, it's a bunch of redos of figures that they've already done, but want to give another shot. First, we're going to start with a pterosaur, as we go with the most popular one. Pteranodon, which originally looked like this, but now looks like this. And out of the 3 figures that have been announced in this batch, I'd say this one has the greatest improvement, as the figure looks really cool, and it is also the only figure with an articulated jaw. And considering how it looks, I'm expecting it to look pretty subtle, which is pretty cool. So it's definitely a huge improvement over the original. I like the color scheme and the fact that it almost looks lifelike. I'm just gonna say that. It's just, the detail looks great, Collecta knocked it out of the park. But I wouldn't say they did that with their next two. The Megalosaurus, which is the first of the 2 remastered dinosaurs that they have made. This Megalosaurus looks alright, but I think the paint job's a bit lacking. It just looks more lackluster. For some reason, something about it. It just looks average. It looks dull. It looks duller than most Collecta figures when it comes to the paint job, which is a little underwhelming. I'm a little disappointed by the bland sand color with some black on it, and also I think the head sculpt looks a little dopey. Maybe it's just because the mouth is shut, which I'm not a huge fan of either, but it looks a little off. It looks boxy. Maybe that's what Megalosaurus looked like. I haven't really seen a good modern depiction of Megalosaurus in a while. I'm just not a fan. I'm not buying that figure. And then lastly, we have Neovenator, which is the other theropod that they've remastered. And Neovenator has actually gotten a lot of coverage by Collecta. They have this ugly standard figure, but they also have this deluxe figure, which turned into a pretty sweet puppet in a pretty cool series many of you may have heard of. It's called Isle of the Mesozoic, but I digress. Now, Collecta has released a third Neovenator that is very speculative and also very flashy. They decided to go semi-all out with this figure, giving it their typical flashy green color scheme, and also some yellow that I think wasn't really handled the best. The yellow on the face makes it look like it has a beak, and I don't remember Neovenator having that. One other thing I do not remember Neovenator having is all those spines on its back, which is a speculative thing by Collecta, and also some on its throat. I don't actually mind this. I think it actually looks pretty cool. They did a similar thing with Megalosaurus, actually, where they gave it some elongated spines on its back that, for some reason, only run on the front of its tail. I don't know why. It almost looks like a concavenator for some reason. I don't know. Is there any evidence of this? I obviously have no paleontological experience when it comes to these dinosaurs. Either way, these figures are quite spiny, and I think that's an interesting new feature. And I like it. I think that looks good. One thing I'm not really a fan, though, of is the closed mouths. Because if these figures are supposed to be the new definitive versions of these figures by Collecta, then, I don't know, maybe an articulated jaw would help, but then again, these figures seem to be standard, as both of them are about half a foot long, rather than the typical foot-long length of the deluxe theropods. Oh yeah, another thing to mention, the deluxe Neovenator and the standard Neovenator are now officially retired, so if you do want to get the other Neovenators, or any of the other old versions of these 3 species, get them now. So to summarize our reveals, we've gotten a new deluxe remastered Pteranodon with an articulated jaw, a full red dewlap, and some fabulous pycnofibers, and some vestigial back feet. And as well as that, we've gotten 2 remastered theropods that are both about half a foot long, a Megalosaurus and a Neovenator, which I think could have been handled a bit better, but are still decent figures. They're just not as good as I wish they were. So hope you guys enjoyed this news video. Comment down what you think of these 3 figures, speculate about what the next reveals are going to be, and see you guys next time.